Welcome everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about negative exponents with fractions. So instead of taking whole numbers to negative exponents, now we're going to see what happens when we take a fraction to a negative exponent. So we're going to keep in mind our rule, a to the power of negative n is equal to 1 over a to the power of positive n as we look at these. So if we use our rule for this first one, here we have 1/3 to the power of negative 4. And so if we use our rule, we're going to just put it over 1. So we have 1 over, we have 1/3 now to the power of positive 4. Well, how do we divide by a fraction? If you remember, we just multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to take the numerator, 1, and multiply it by the reciprocal, which is 3 over 1 to the 4th power. And if we were to write that out longhand, it's just 1 times 3 over 1 times 3 over 1 times 3 over 1 times 3 over 1, right? It's just 3 over 1 multiplied 4 times. That's what the exponent tells us. And if we evaluate this, we get 3 times 3 here is 9, and 3 times 3 here is 9, and then 9 times 9 is 81 over 1 with the result of 81. So that is that fraction to the negative exponent of negative 4. So we got to a result of 81, but the secret I want you to see here is that what happened here? Here we have the fraction flipped and just raised to the positive exponent. So that's really the trick to raising any fraction to a negative exponent. You simply flip the fraction and then change the exponent to be positive. If we go through this one again, I will show you. So if we just put it over 1, we have 1 over 2/5 to the power of 3. And so how do we divide by a fraction? Well, we simply multiply by the reciprocal. So it becomes 5 over 2 to the power of 3. All right. And here you can see that same step. This is now just the fraction flipped, 5 over 2 instead of 2 over 5th. Now we have 5 over 2. And our exponent is positive. So if we evaluate that, it's just simply, if we wrote it out longhand, it would be 1 times 5 over 2 times 5 over 2 times 5 over 2. And if we multiply it out, 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So that is your evaluated expression when you take 2/5 to the negative 3rd power, is 125 over 8. Again, we flip the fraction and change the exponent to positive. So without doing all the extra work, we can simply do that right away from here. So here we have x over 2 to the negative 5. So what we'll do is flip our fraction. So we have 2 over x, and now it's to a positive 5. We can raise each the numerator and the denominator to the exponent. So 2 to the power of 5 is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So 2 to the power of 5 is 32. And then x to the power of 5 is just x to the 5th. So that is your simplified or your evaluated fraction to a negative exponent. So review again, simply flip your fraction to the opposite and then change your exponent to positive.